niwaise bantu Kyabazinga waife ogeisa obusoga butereire ebitongolo birese byatuwa buyambi bwatutasa Baba Sima nebaza omunene CEO wa Daleni Mwami Daniel Kitimba webale Busoga kusimye okuleta Daleni Uganda ngetuyambye okutumbula ebyobulamu n'ebyobuyondo Busoga ebinze endala Kyabazinga twegeisa olimu era nsaba Kibumba nkwongere enkabi otumbule Busoga etuuke kwewala niyo bitiro yongera osaka oletere Busoga etumbuke niwaise bantu nkobeise byalo alikuliza amaziga alitanga baba zendi kufaka mwenu bongere mwengoma mbawemu waine ebyokusoleka ebisinga kantine mu mubiri bidodo leka numye ettaka eririndya okubyembeire naseka otairemu obuwomi neibuti ofikisi okuba engoma mbaire tikiriza yemazogana ndeke muwane baba ni baba Kyabazinga ziramu wakanya baba waife Kyabazinga bana baleyo baba ni baba Kyabazinga lazisa Busoga baba waife Kyabazinga ndeke muwane baba ni baba Kyabazinga ziramu wakanya baba waife Kyabazinga bana baleyo baba ni baba Kyabazinga Muchaine kwemba mwembe wana mwende Busoga Kyabazinga Daleni Uganda etere mwaka sente
My colleagues to introduce themselves. But we are very pleased to be here with you today. Your Majesty, it's a great honor. Thank you so much for making time. Very appreciate you. My name is
Your Majesty, my name is Jessica Keeley, and I lead the health program for the United States Agency for International Development, which is known as USAID. So thank you.
Let me speak English for the sake of others, and I want to learn Busoga and speak Busoga. I'm Sarah. I work in UNAIDS. Your Majesty, it's a pleasure to be here. My name is Barbara Asire. I work with UNICEF. Your Majesty, good morning. My name is Teddy Chimurwa, and I work with UNESCO in Uganda. Thank you.
Baba nsagaire okubona amaina gange neze Florence mpakula mu kitabo nkolera mu UNFPA.
Your Majesty, good morning. My name is Fiona Mado. I work with the UNICEF Social and Behavior Change Activity. Thank you.
That all power of the kingdom belongs to the king. What we all do, he is the only legal position of the kingdom. What we do as the administrators of the kingdom is by power of attorney from the king. So every time we deal with you, be mindful of the fact that the power we represent is not ours, it is the power of His Majesty, the King. And it is a pleasure that this time you're interacting with the King, from whom we derive our authority. It is very critical legally They don't sue me, they sue the king. Even when I'm appearing in court, I have to get powers of attorney from him to speak on his behalf. So I needed this to be very clear. As we go into this relationship, we need to understand it very well. The power of the king in this kingdom is a power of convening. I don't think anybody else in this country has powers the king has to convene anybody in this kingdom. That I can assure you. We've taken time to build this power, and we think it is time for our partners to use this power to achieve development goals of this country. The power that the king yields is a power of emotions. It's now our responsibility to direct those emotions to development. When the king speaks to us, he doesn't request, he orders. And when the king orders, you must oblige. That is in our culture. If he appointed me prime minister and I rejected, I don't think I will stay in this kingdom. My family name will go. That's how powerful this position that you are meeting today is. And knowing that you are in development, I can assure you that you are in the right place to affect the hearts and the minds of the people of Busoga. A lot of our development work is not working because we miss the context. In Busoga, we don't welcome people from outside criticizing us. But he has the power to criticize us, and we will keep quiet. I can tell you that every time I go to functions, I am the only person who speaks when everybody is quiet, because I'm carrying the power of the king. So we want to welcome you. We want to wish you all the best. We want to tell you that this kingdom is here to work with you. And the king has directed me to inform you that he has formed the Kyabazinga initiative. And that Kyabazinga initiative is his initiative. He will be fully in charge to dispense of any projects, any strategic interventions for the good of the people of Busoga. Kyabazinga, let me report to you. Just last week, I decided to drive myself, and it is not very welcome in Busoga to see me driving. But I thought I should drive myself and see. And I went to one of the rural areas, and that is Kagumba, after Balawoli, towards Namasagari. And this is what I saw, that we have done so well, but early pregnancy is still eluding us. While we were growing up, at 6 o'clock we would be moving back home. But I drove at 7 and 8 and found that young children were now coming into the center, commercial centers. And each of them were in pairs, not with the fellow girls, but with another opposite sex. So I decided, Your Highness, to go to the maternity home to just cross-check what is happening with the mothers who are pregnant. And of the 400, 40 were below 16. And of the 40, 10% had HIV. So, Your Majesty, this report is to you. You have all the power. You can mobilize the churches. You can mobilize the mosques. You can mobilize your homes. You can mobilize the clans for us to achieve that potential from the young girls that we need. I want to welcome you. Feel free. I will not speak again. I have already told you about the initiative. Anything we do, we will do through the initiative. The king himself is here. And now I'm going to hand over to you, our guests, to speak to the king. And it will be interactive. And from this day on, I will be the MC.
Your Majesty, the King of Busoga, William Gabula Diope IV Isebandu Kyabazinga of Busoga. Thank you for having us here. The Prime Minister of Busoga, Cabinet Ministers for the King of Busoga, clan leaders and members of the Lukiko, members of the Busoga royal family, government representatives. I'm very pleased that the chairperson of the Uganda AIDS Commission agreed to join my visit here. I thank you, Dr. Ruth. I think there's also someone from the Ministry of Health. I don't think he's here yet, but we should see him this afternoon. Civil society organizations were present, private sector representatives, my brother Ali from Airtel, fellow United Nations colleagues, led by the UNFPA country director. Thank you for joining me here. The United States government colleagues, Jennifer, who's heading that delegation. Thank you. It shows a really good picture optics when we come together. So thank you for joining. The media fraternity, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your wonderful reception this morning. I'm honored and delighted to be here and to lead such a wonderful delegation to come and discuss with you and get guidance from you on how we can support the people of Busoga to meet their development goals. Your Majesty, the Joint United Nations Program on HIV, UNAIDS, together with its partners under the Sexual Reproductive Health and Rights Program, where we partner with UNFPA, UNICEF, and WHO, we present our compliments to you. And thank you for your commitment towards the social transformation and development of Busoga region. We are concerned about the fact that national health and HIV responses are leaving men behind and boys behind, not just in Busoga region, but everywhere in the country. Men and boys are involved in health programs and testing for HIV in fewer numbers compared to their female counterparts. Even fewer are involved in access to health and HIV treatment, and as a result, most AIDS-related deaths occur among men in Uganda. This is why UNAIDS, together with its co-sponsors, are actively advocating for the involvement of men and boys in HIV prevention, treatment, and care programs. We see the increased engagement of men and culture as a game changer for reducing teenage pregnancies in the region. We are convinced beyond doubt that without men engaging, we will not reach the global targets for ending AIDS and teenage pregnancies. We are also convinced that we will not get to the end of AIDS without the involvement of cultural leaders. Your Majesty, while advocacy with government and political leaders is important, partnerships with cultural leaders is equally important because we believe that cultural institutions and traditional structures enable changes from the inside out. Cultural leaders are more in touch with the people and the realities at the community and grassroots level. My sister gift from UNFPA will highlight some of the facts around teenage pregnancy, and Jessica will also talk about what they are seeing here in Busoga region. But allow me to paint a brief picture around HIV. Uganda has around 1.4 million people living with HIV. The country registered 38,000 new HIV infections in 2023. This translates to about 730 new HIV infections every week, 3 out of 4 of these infections are in adolescents and young people, with girls and women taking the lion's share of 4 infections per 5 young people living with HIV. 64% of these infections are among women, while 36% are among men. In addition, over 40 people die due to HIV every week, and close to 14 babies contract HIV from their parents every week. This is not good. It is unbearable, because the science of HIV prevention is known by almost everybody. We have all the tools we need. We have the science. We have the capacity here in Uganda to end this. However, we all need to accelerate our efforts, and if we want to declare human victory against HIV, then we need to come together and accelerate and achieve this goal.
Because we feel that leaders like Your Royal Highness, you are very highly respected in Busoga, because this is your community, these are your people. When you speak, they listen. So we are expecting that perhaps you can assist us to engage the men, the young boys, because they are the gatekeepers of our social norms and practices. Challenging the harmful social norms and practices, so that when the young boys and girls are growing up, they respect each other. They know that these are sisters, these are aunts, but they need to also pursue their education. Your Majesty's influence is really expected, Your Royal Highness, to rally the Busoga boys and men in championing and fighting teenage pregnancy.
Thank you very much for having us. My job today is to talk to you a little bit about the work that we are already supporting in the Busoga Kingdom. So this is collectively, and these are investments that can be tools and resources for you in the initiative and in our partnership to come. So presently we are in training health workers. We provide a significant amount of health commodities. So this includes medicines and tests for HIV. It includes family planning commodities. We also provide malaria commodities and others.
Your Royal Highness, if it may please you, sir.
Jacqueline Makoha. The UNFPA country representative, Mrs. Gift Malunga, representative of the US Ambassador, Katukiro wa Busoga, Dr. Joseph Mvala, n'omumyuka wo Owekitiibwa Osman Ahmed Nur, ali in charge of partnerships. Chairperson, Uganda AIDS Commission, you're most welcome. The community advisor, the director programs, all other invited guests in your respective capacities, since you've already been introduced. Kingdom ministers in your various capacities. Mr. Ali Balunywa from Airtel and colleagues. All invited guests, protocol observed. Good morning once again. For the interest of our visitors, I will use English for today and a little bit of Lusoga. Nonetheless, thank you for coming today to be here with us in your various capacities. And as a kingdom, we are grateful and delighted to have you today. To begin with, I think it is better for you to know about the Kyabazinga initiatives. So I will invite Owekitiibwa Udaya to give a bit of a background and the kind of roles and work it plays. Thank you. So on behalf of Busoga Kingdom, I extend our gratitude for the various interventions and human work you're doing for Busoga and Uganda as a whole. We thank you for the work you've done, and we know that if we work as a team, we shall do a lot together. From the information I've received from you, there's a lot of work you've done, but you still need intervention from institutions like Busoga Kingdom to ensure that you meet the much needed targets. So as a kingdom, we are an open door to development, and I know there's a lot we shall do when we are together and achieve as well. One of our pillars is we need to have a healthy population. So when you come and join us with initiatives that are dealing with improving the lives of people, especially their health, you're most welcome, and we know together we shall fight the high rates of teenage pregnancies, the HIV rates, and other uncommunicable diseases. Because as over Kyabazinga, we as well wish to see our people in good conditions, wish to see them working hard, wish to see them moving from one place to another in terms of self-development, and as well giving back to the various communities. Therefore, through different interactions with you, since it's the beginning, we shall be in position to strategize and work together, because we know it's not the last time we are seeing you, and we shall have a lot of paperwork, a lot of sharing of ideas, etc. and etc. so that we can be in position to meet the different targets that we have. It's good that Owechiteba Udai has given you a bit of some details about Kyabazinga initiatives, which is directly under my office. And the focal persons, of course, the main person would be the third deputy prime minister of Kyabazinga Busoga. And I think for purposes of introducing him, he's going to stand up such that you know the person that you shall be dealing with. You'll have other team members that I know as we interact, he will introduce to you, because we want to see a lot of progress. We believe in proper accountability, we believe in transparency, and as well progress, such that we can be in position to carry on with our different works that we shall be doing together. And as a kingdom, we believe so much in proper service delivery. Therefore, working with organized institutions like yours, we shall be in position to achieve all that we need to do. And of course, just like Owechiteba Udai has said, the kingdom has different structures, where we have the cabinet, we have the chiefs royal council, we have the clan leaders, we have the elders council, we have the Busoga youth council, and several others, right from the top to the grassroots, that we shall be dealing with to ensure that the different messages and the different ways we want to do things are achieved. Therefore, feel free whenever need arises for us to do the needful. Then I want to thank Madam Sarah Naku and Ali Barunya for the great work they have done to ensure that we have a successful meeting, to ensure that we meet the different partners, and to ensure that the coordination has been good, because working together for community-based activities is always good when you're a team. Therefore, we thank them for the different roles they have played, and we are looking forward to working with them further. Of course, a lot has been said which I don't want to say, since it's just the beginning, but I thank you for the opportunity you've accorded to me as a goodwill ambassador who championed the engagement of men and boys, and of course fight the teenage pregnancies and other roles that shall be accorded accordingly. And I take this opportunity to thank you once again for coming, and I look forward to meeting you at the main event. Busoga kwisanya na amani.